So last week when we were trying to figure out our plan for leveling up that hallway leading to the bedroom for the hardwood floor project, we decided we better run out to Home Depot and pick up that 1/4 inch plywood. And we were thinking, hey, while we're here, why don't we pick up the tile for the hearth? And so we went ahead and grabbed some tile and other materials for that project. Let me show you what we got. So yeah, we got this natural black slate called Montauk Black. Montauk, okay. And it's a nice dark gray charcoal colored slate. We've got these little screw down type levelers so you don't get any high spots in your tile, or what they call lippage. And some grout caulk for going around the perimeter at the hardwoods, and a bag of large format tile thin set that's good for natural stone. I'll start by stapling this down really good with these. 1.5 inch staples, 7/16 crown. These are the 16 gauge. These are a lot heavier duty. I'm just going to staple this down to this oak flooring really well. These will actually go down and penetrate about 3/4 of an inch into the subfloor underneath that oak as well. And that should hold that down really well. I'll have to shim this up once I get the hardwoods out to here. I'll shim up underneath this so I get two exact levels, and then we'll get this stained and clear coated to match the best we can to the actual hardwood flooring. And this little piece of oak that we bought down at Home Depot today, and we just L-notched out for the wall. I wanted to create a situation where it looked like it was going into the wall or overhanging the wall, kind of to match this live edge floating stair that we had put in previously. Okay, so now we got this piece of plywood, this 1/4 inch plywood. It's approximately 1/4 inch through the area where I know I have the low spot, and I cut it so that it came right up to where the last point, that it wouldn't be too tall to feather edge to here. And I've done that on both sides. I stapled this down with 2-inch staples, 16 gauge staples, about every few inches. And now I need to feather edge this out. And what I've got is this Henry 549 feather edge. I picked that product because it's something we can staple our hardwood right through, where a lot of the cementous type self-leveling compounds could crack or not adhere properly to this type of substrate. This is just painted oak that I've sanded and cleaned and wiped down with some denatured alcohol, so I know I've got a nice clean substrate to get this stuff to stick. I've got my mixing bucket. I've got a cup for water. I've got a cup for the dry mix, and I've got my float, 3-inch knife, maybe a 4-inch, and just a margin trowel. And I've also got this big skim coat, drywall skim coat knife. I thought that might help. And then I've also got this steel bar I use sometimes when I have to screed something out, so you can kind of see what I'm trying to fill here. I'm trying to fill this gap from there up to 0, which is a little bit shy of the end of that. So that's what I'm going to be trying to feather edge up with this product. I'm only going to mix a cup at a time because I don't know how far it's going to go. So let's see how that rolls. And so this is a 2-to-1. You use two parts powder to 1 part of water. So since I'm using a full cup here, what I did is I made a mark. I weighed out 8 ounces of water out of this 16-ounce cup and made a mark inside my cup, so I know how much water to put in there. I don't know how far this 1 cup and a half a cup is going to go on this feather edge on this side, but I don't want to mix up too much. This stuff's like $25 for a 7-pound bag, so you don't want to throw this stuff away. It kicks pretty fast. I think I have a 15-minute work time with it, so you don't want to mix up so much and end up throwing a bunch away. That's why instead of going 2 cups to 1 cup, I thought I'd start with 1 cup to 1/2 a cup on the 2-to-1 ratio. And I found that it works best to use a glove. For a batch this size, trying to get a mixer in there with the drill and a mixer, it's really not enough product to even mix like that. So I would rather just, you want to start with pouring the water in first, because that helps it from sticking to the bottom of the bucket so bad. I'll put this product in next. And I'm just going to take my disposable glove, my vinyl glove, and start mixing this up by hand, squishing it, kneading it. I want to make sure I don't have bumps in it. Like that. I'll just take this glove off, like so. just start by kind of placing some of this in here, kind of scratching it into the substrate a little bit. Make sure we get a good bond. I don't want to go too far with it because I don't know how far it's going to go. So, but I do know I got to come up to about here to get that low spot filled in. And I know I need to be at this thickness that this plywood piece is to get it screeded out there. I'm going to try taking this screed bar, setting it up here where I know it gets flat, and then just kind of dragging it across the plywood. And you can kind of see, well, you can't, but I can see where I've got a holiday or a hollow spot here. So I can just scrape off this extra product, plop it down there, and keep working that over here that way. Piece I need to put in here, but this is coming up a little short of where I need it to be. So we're going to drop this baby in there, and I'm a little low, so I need to put a shim. I need like an 1/8 of an inch shim. Well, I didn't have the 1/8 inch thick plywood shim that I was hoping I'd have, but I do have a whole roll of 30-pound felt, so let's see what that gives us. That looks just about perfect, really. I came in earlier and got this little patch done, and around this perimeter we had a low spot there. We decided to make this a little bit bigger, and we already got these hardwoods done a week or two ago, and so what I'm trying to do is get this nice and ready and prepped up for the new Montauk black slate. And I need to go out and get the wet saw out of the shed so we can start cutting those to size. We're going to have 5 pieces. There'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. They're 1 foot by 24s, but this isn't quite 24. So we'll need to cut the length of each one. And then on the 2 outside ones, I'll probably just have to take off a sliver so they're the same width. Probably take off like a 1/4 inch, 3/8, something like that, so that the 2 outside tiles are matching and everything's balanced. So got a little bit of measuring to do. Got to get the tile saw out and start getting those cut up. And we'll dry fit them all in first before we get the thin set rolling. I need to put a piece of flooring board here to represent where my tile's going to come to, so that it matches that side, so that we have the same amount of reveal from the tile to the end of the fireplace once that's stuccoed. So what I'm trying to do, I need to make sure this is square to this, and so I'll use my speed square. Okay, perfectly square. Now I can measure for my tile and start cutting some stuff. Simulate what they'll look like when they're oiled. It looks pretty.
I think it's pretty.
Yeah.
I like the ones that have more. I think these look cool. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
These 5?
Yeah.
For the living room?
Yeah.
And the others for the kitchen?
Yeah. You need your other glasses on?
This tape can help keep them from chipping when you cut them, and I'm also using it to mark my line. I need to cut here along that line for the width, and on this side I want to cut along this line for the length. I just like to put these little arrows because then I don't have to worry about when I get on the saw messing up and cutting on the wrong side of the tape. I've never done that before. Haha. You about ready?
Yeah.
Make sure it's going to go in good. So we got these 5 tiles cut. I moved them, stacked them up with some cardboard in between them, but I'm going to use some leveler here, some self-leveler. I've got a bag of Level Quick RS in the garage left over from the bedroom floor project. This isn't really that level, and so since I've got that leveler, I'm gonna blend that up in a bucket and dump it in this hole. But before I do that, I've got a couple little cracks I want to seal up so that I don't have to worry about my self-leveler draining down in those cracks and dropping the level. So I'll have to dam up a couple little spots. But yeah, I think if we could make this a little bit flatter. Really appreciate you watching. Please like it if you liked it. Subscribe if you want to keep following along with our journey. We've got a lot of work to do here, and leave a comment. I love to see the comments. I like to reply to them, so please do that as well.